Hi, Reality and NXT viewers. It is with great pleasure that I introduce today Mr. Dhaval Ajmera, the esteemed director of Ajmera Realty. With his rich family legacy in this Indian real estate industry, Dhaval Ajmera has emerged as a visionary leader known for his unwavering commitment to excellence and integrity. His remarkable journey is a testament to his ability to balance tradition with innovation and driving the success of Ajmera Reality. So we are honored to have him here today and we are eagerly await the invaluable insights he will share with us. So thank you, Dhaval, for joining us today on Let's Talk Business series by Reality NXT.
Thank you. Thank you very much for inviting. I've heard a lot about your series and the things which you promote, and you actually know about the real estate market. So it's great to be here. Thank you very much.
So before we dive into the questions with regards to the current industry insights and everything, so as a second generation developer, what are the values and principles that guide your decision making and also helps you in the growth of the company process of success and its growth? Also, how does your family legacy influence your perspective on this industry?
So my this is our as an Ajmera, I would say principle. We as Ajmera are primarily a lot believed, and we are more focused on three, four things. One is trust, one is commitment, and one is innovation. These are the three principles of where we as Ajmeras are really thrive to work towards. So, and today, we're very proud that we are like a three generation family business working together. And I come from the second generation where I am I would say between the first and the third, where the young minds and the experienced people coming together to actually grow the company. And that's where we see. So what we primarily believe and what I have seen that business working earlier versus business working now, and what are the ethos and the principles eventually remain the same. It's like if you have to grow the business, if you really want to take your legacy forward, you need to stick to what your ethos were. You need to stick to what the principles of your company are, right? So that is something which we don't compromise on. Number one. Number two, while yes, innovation, technology is something we need to adopt because that's changing times and that's the changing things which is really required, and that's how we move ahead. But
Yeah.
keeping new technologies, keeping new dimensions in mind, but not forgetting the ethos. So these are the two basic things which needs to be merged, work together, and that's I believe is the success of our company.
So we have a question from a lot of viewers also. They want to know that I'm sure you must have faced this where you have come across a certain incidents where you had to make a tough decision and it might be unpopular with your family members or with the company, but you were still believing that this decision is required to make and is necessary for the growth of the company or the success of the company in long term. Have you gone through certain incidences like that?
Well, to be honest, we've as a company, we work on a certain direction. There is every one of us has something, a certain responsibility in terms of a portfolio, in terms of a project, or whatever it is. But if there are decisions which are little different from my view, let's say if I think A and there is as a family or as a board we think B, eventually it has been discussed and it is eventually come out to a decision which is consensus to everybody. And if majority, or if it's like somebody as a head of our family like our chairman or the MD, his decision will have a lot of weightage, and that's where we discuss and move. So I mean, to be frank with you, there's never been a case where I have to, or any one of us has to be, taking a decision which is against the family or which is against the company, but, in the interest of the company, because we've always discussed things and we move with a consensus decision that yes, this is what we all think together and which is for the betterment of the company, and that's how we work.
So in an industry like this, it's often associated, with high competition, the high stakes, intense competition. So with regards to this kind of scenario, how do you make sure to practice, the ethical practice and maintain integrity when it comes to your business dealings?
Well, I believe work is something which is your own brand. Your brand and your work will actually show whatever
Hmm.
we do, however we take. So if we are working right, if you are working with a with an honest intention to really project your company or your projects, or you showcase your project in the right way, I don't see success not coming at least in there. So if I have to look that we are in this business since last 54 years, and we have actually delivered 45,000 apartments with a very clear and an honest intention to that to deliver apartments, to make houses better, and to grow within the company and within the area with the competition where we are. So competition is great. People compare, people know, but at the same time, if you're doing work which is right, I think the rules are very clear with the government and with the local authorities, that if you are within that framework of the law, I don't think anyone can really stop you. And competition is a healthy competition. It's not something, because I personally believe that the realty market, even if every developer of us or whoever is there in the market works for a longest period of time, still there is enough and more demand for each and every one of us. So
True.
uh, it's a healthy competition, but not like a fierce competition, because people will have an option A, B, C,
Yeah.
and they will select whatever is the best for them. But eventually, the market is going to absorb each and everything. And if you work right, and if you showcase right, and if you deliver right, I think there's no uh, uh, pool of work which you cannot do.
Yeah. So government has introduced, policies like PMAY, even RADA to
Hmm.
give a boost and regulate the real estate industry. According to you, what changes or improvements are still there required for this industry to gain, of course, for the customer point of view, also to have that more transparency in and to gain that more trust from the customer point of view? What's your
So
take on that?
my belief is that real estate market is a very buoyant market. People are in India primarily are a very emotional. They have a very emotional attachment towards real estate.
Yeah.
So if you, it's a very old saying, roti kapda makan. So it's a very integral part of everyone's decision. So you, me, or anyone in India will have some part of real estate with them. Maybe a house, maybe a flat, maybe a plot, maybe a bungalow, maybe whatever, like a commercial space, a warehouse space, anything. But some bit of real estate will be within us, and we will, if we have some spare money, if we want to invest, I think there'll be 0.001% who will say, okay, I don't want any real estate, I'll probably invest in gold, stocks or whatever. But I think majority of are there. So it's a very integral part, I mean, as real estate to us. And I believe, government is also, have realized and are working towards, encouraging real estate and having, our honorable Prime Minister's vision of housing for all. It's a very, very big initiative. And to make that success, I think PMAY scheme is good, but I think that needs to be more encouraged, number one. And it should be encouraged city to city and suburb to suburb. So if I have to give an example today, there is a definition of affordable housing which states that any houses under 45 lakhs is unaffordable. But to
Yeah.
be honest and realistic, like in a city like Mumbai, affordable is 1 crore, right?
Yeah.
So and or a city like Pune or Bangalore or anywhere else in a suburb city, the
Mm.
affordability segment is different. So our take, as as an association, as Prada MCHR, and anyone,
Mm.
we personally believe that the housing affordability should be on the size of the apartment and not the value of the apartment, because value is a proposition of land, is a proposition of premiums, is a proposition of construction cost, very, very different factors. But
Yeah.
if you say that a 60 square meter or a 600 square feet house or a 90 square meter or a 45 square meter house is the definition of affordable, like
Mm.
any houses between 45 to 60 square meter is defined as affordable, I think that will open up a lot of stream within the market, like Mumbai, within the market, any suburb cities, and not defining it or capping it like it. Right now, the definition states 45 or 60 square meters or 45 lakhs,
Yeah.
but it should be just 45 to 60 square meters and not 45 lakhs. Just say define it as 60 square meters, and then we see that is the real affordable housing definition. And there are enough and more benefits available for the public at large, and it will be coming to use, and there will be a lot of movement in real estate coming in because of this. And with that, let's be honest, today real estate is directly, indirectly supporting, connected to 270, 80 other industries. So if one of this cycle moves, it's 280 other different industries cycle which is moving. So I think what agriculture is to the rural economy of India, real estate is to the urban economy. So if we really promote and boost real estate this way, I think it will really change a lot into the economic cycle of India.
So, in the recent quote of yours in media, you have mentioned that the company is now focusing to reduce corporate debt by 90% in next 3 years. So, what are the strategies or the specific steps that you are planning to take to achieve this goal?
So, we as a company, have been always trying to see how we can best manage the debt. And we are today also, we are in quite control of our debt. It's not something that is really worrying. But as a Gujarati mindset or as a Banya mindset, we always feel byaj kam hona chahiye,
Yeah.
or there should be less interest and more. So we strive and continue to work towards it. But at the same time, yes, debts towards, as I've as I said earlier, corporate level debt is where we want to reduce. We have framed up strategies, we have framed up plans to how will we do this in terms of probably hiving some assets, in terms of selling. We are expecting some monies coming from different projects. Some projects are on the way of clearing. All those together will actually line up to the monies which will be there to reduce the debt. And at the same time, while we reduce debt, we also have a target to grow 5x from where we are. And we will continue to work towards a debt reduction and b towards growth. So that's a very
Yeah.
challenging task, and as a company we are striving to go there.
So tell me, we are noticing a lot of branded developers from their existing market are exploring other markets in India. Be Shobha shifting towards the north side, or be Godrej exploring the south side. Will we see Ajmera plans like that expanding, be in the South India side or the east side? What are the plans ahead for the expansion?
So, well, we as Ajmeras have, over the last, so we focused on 3 4 cities. We've earlier done a lot of development in different cities, in Gujarat, in Pune, in Bangalore, in primarily a lot in Mumbai, but also in Gujarat and Pune and Bangalore. These were the 4 5 areas where we were focused on. But now, as a company, we believe that our focus is primarily more in Mumbai, but at the same time, it's Bangalore and Pune, and to an extent Ahmedabad. See, these are the 4 cities where we believe that as a western and the southern belt of India has the most
Yeah.
growth potential, and probably as the most what do you call, one of the favorite urban cities of India, and will have a lot of growth potential possible in these areas or regions. So hence we are growing more and we are expanding in these cities more, and we would continue to do this in the given future as well.
So good you mentioned about Ahmedabad. I wanted to know your take on the gift city. What do you think the current market is like? Is it the right market for any home buyer to invest in gift city, because the development are still in progress, right? The commercial buildings are there, residentials few buildings are there which are still under construction. But as a home buyer, as an investor, what would you suggest them when it comes to gift city?
So my take is, Gift City is a very very good concept, and I believe in India there should be 100 such gift cities, and not just one. But it's a great start.
Yeah.
I would should say it's a great start. Uh, because the kind of promotions, the kind of forget the tax incentive or forget whatever is there. It's a great incentive, and that should be there for every business or everyone to start their work over there. But at the same time, if you really look at the kind of planning and the infrastructure which is done, I think that is actually kind of a smart city, or a city where today's modern age people would like to strive to really want to live in these kind of cities. So today, today, honestly, we as developers, or many of us develop our townships the way a gift city is developed. So,
Yeah.
but obviously, our land parcels are smaller as compared to gift city. But if today I as Ajmera want to give the best to my clients and my customers, have the
Hmm.
best of the infrastructure in terms of lighting, in terms of infrastructure, water, everything, right?
Hmm.
And if the government is doing it in terms to a city like this, I think it's a great job, and it's really encouraging. It's a it's like how BKC was probably 20 years back, when probably residential movement was not there.
Yeah.
But eventually today people really want to also, if there was an option given, people want to shift to BKC because it's like the buzzing prime suburb of Mumbai, with the best of the commercial establishments, the best of the restaurants, lifestyle, and being residential around, and the planned good roads, everything. So I think that's exactly what Gift City probably will see in the next coming years.
So will we see Ajmera Group also entering in Gift City?
Well, we hope so. We've honestly not, we've evaluated earlier, but not currently. I'll be
Hmm.
very honest to you. But if opportunity rises our way, why not?
So tell us about the ongoing projects and the launches in this current fiscal year. What plans Ajmera Group has? Also, what market demands that you have noticed, or emerging trends that you have noticed, that as a brand actively you're making sure it's being addressed in the offerings of these projects?
So, to talk about our expansion plans, as I said earlier, we as a company are planning to grow 5x from where we are. And taking those steps and taking those cues ahead, we have started our growth journey post COVID. We did a 400-ish or 500-ish crore turnover in 2021. 2022, we saw 800 crores. This year, we are probably eyeing to see a little more higher than what we did last year. And that's the growth journey where we are moving ahead. At the same time, we are launching four more projects this year. One is already been launched. About three more is in the pipeline in the coming 8-9 months, where which will have a top line of around 2,000 crores. And uh, and in the going future, in the next 2 to 3 years, we will have another few projects which will have another 5-6,000 crores of projects in the next 2 years or 3 years, where we'll be launching. So given put together, that's our growth journey, and beyond which we also have a land banks in whatever different places of Mumbai, primarily Mumbai, which has a great potential coming up. But that will be launched as and how the market demands, and we see a great potential coming in. So, as a company, we are very, very excited, very buoyant to see what we have in our pipeline. And at the same time, this is something which we have, but growth is something where we always strive to be. And we are looking at projects in a city of Mumbai primarily, because we believe this city has a great potential. With the kind of infrastructure the city has seen or is witnessing, I think it's going to change a lot in terms of its demand, and which we are seeing that Mumbai is really fast. It's like really growing well in
Yeah.
terms of its demand for real estate. So yeah, we are looking at projects in our different, and we also know the reality that Mumbai has a it's a scarce land now, like in a
Hmm.
city of Mumbai. So redevelopment, slum redevelopment, Mada redevelopment, these are the options which are available. So that's the area where we are working on. We are looking at some projects, or
Hmm.
discussing with few, or some stressed assets which are probably possible. That's something which we are working on and trying to see if we can strike a deal. So that's the region where we are working on. And as far as trends are concerned, what we have really noticed is post COVID, we've seen a lot of focus of a person being in a apartment. Like today, if you are, let's say you're in a 2 bedroom apartment, you strive to be in a 2.5 or a 3 bedroom.
Yeah.
you want that extra space. You want that, obviously budget is a concern, and which everyone is, where they understand that if I have to push myself for an extra space, there will be an extra pricing. But with that, people are looking at buying a part in a in a largest way, in a larger space. And at the same time, we have noticed that people in Mumbai or wherever, with the kind of traffic, with the kind of stress in terms of work, they want to have a work life balance. That
Yeah.
has become their mantra
Priority.
or a
Yeah.
goal. And they are, and with that they want, what I mean by this is, once they are home, they want to have the best of the amenities within their own housing complexes and all.
Mm.
So projects with the best of the amenities, project with complex kind of a gated community, I think will
Mm.
always strive to be at a premium as compared to other projects. And because that's where they feel that children, their family is more secure. They have a larger family within the community. And I think that's the trend which we have been constantly noticing, that gated communities,
Mm.
buildings with better amenities, will have a premium and will be more in demand as compared to others.
True. So in Mumbai, if we ask home buyers few projects which they feel is standing out when it comes to Powai, everyone talks about Niranjan sir initiatives, but when it comes to Wadala, everyone is talking about Ajmera Group, the Ajmera Island, and I have visited that property, and it's quite well planned. It's not like that if it's huge space you put up a lot of towers together. It's quite well planned where the space is also provided to the residents. Even the amenities are well planned. It's not like too many of amenities which are not required. So how did you how did you as a brand also think through about the home buyers? How did you tap into exactly how do we go about in planning Wadala project?
Well, Vadala, as I have said earlier, is our, it's something which we really, put our head over heart and say that, we're really proud as a family to, develop that kind of market, where something which was actually not there. And it's the vision of our late chairman when he bought this property probably so many years back, to have this vision that someday this place is going to become like a place where everyone would strive to live to. As a company, we have really developed that place, because as Ajmeras, we've primarily been a lot into pin code creations. We've developed properties where honestly some things weren't there, but we built life. Pin code as a destination was created, and people actually strive to live there. And I'm really proud to say that, because we have projects like Shantinagar in Mira Road, which were where nobody was probably staying in Mira Road, and we developed a 265-acre township over
Hmm.
there. Shastri Nagar in Lokhandwala, Manish Nagar in Four Bungalows, and Yogi Nagar in Borivali, and so on and so forth. Wadala Island is one of that kind of a thing where people didn't know, but with the kind of infrastructure coming up over there, and we were very clear that in a city of Mumbai, land is scarcity. Number one, number two, people are used to living in houses. We feel that we stay in a great house, but as I said earlier, that what do you really want? Like a person, if he's there, he should, his walk to work, or his work should be very near to his house. Number one,
Yeah.
that's where we feel his efficiency will start improvising or increasing in terms of his work point of view, his family life point of view, both, right? Because he's traveling less, he's spending less time in the car and more time where it is required.
Yeah.
Number two, his family or the children, everyone should be quite secured. And we give the amenities which is keeping each and everyone very busy. So it's not something that I'm just sitting in my house, but I actually look forward to go down to play, to work out, to meet friends or do whatever. So
Hmm.
uh, we believed that we make a lot of open space, because that is something which Bombay is really
Yeah.
not seeing. So we always believe that when we have such a big parcel of land, when we want to really showcase, why not showcase something which Mumbai is really striving to see? An open space is something which is really really scarce in Mumbai, and That's where we, if you look at it, probably it's a ratio of 80-20 roughly, I would say, where 20% is just buildings and 80% is openness within the complex. So that's where people like it, with the kind of, I can't, my neighbor is really there, but he's far away, right? So
True.
the buildings are far, the layouts are large, the openness is there. That gives a sense of, proud to us and also to a customer who's probably staying over there, and that's where we worked and planned on.
So Ajmera as a brand has investment in Bahrain and London also. So what international ventures, these international ventures complement your overall business strategy? And are you guys planning to further expand in international market?
So when we started venturing into markets in Bahrain or London, these two places where we moved, our whole motto was that we as a company wanted to grow, and with the kind of family hands or the management hands which we have, it is within our reach to probably look at few more projects around outside Mumbai, and that's where we looked. We started with Bahrain, which where we also our motto was very clear: a bring what Ajmera is really for, right? So bring the best kind of efficiency in planning, bring the best kind of amenities, and bring the best kind of layout planning and amenities within the project, which probably is not seen around in different projects of Bahrain. So that's where we work towards. We designed and developed the tallest residential tower in Bahrain.
Yeah.
And but obviously things changed while COVID happened. Before COVID, we started our sales. We got a great response, but post COVID, the demand suddenly in this country like Bahrain changed to a ready apartment. And we as a company thought investing so much money within a, because ours is always a sale develop kind of a cycle, and within a company, if I have to honestly invest something so high and make it ready and then sell, it was something which we were not very comfortable, and hence we sold that project to someone who's locally over there. While with every details and planning, we've sold it. So as Bahrain, we've exited from the project, but with a very clear mandate that we would probably get the money how and as and how, as per our understanding. As far as London is concerned, we always believe that London is a market, is a buoyant market, is something which entire world, probably my belief is Dubai, London are these two cities where everyone from the world wants to invest or probably have something or the other over there. So we went there. We did not put very big bucks in London. We always were very clear. We don't want to be in zone one, zone two regions where the prices are very high. But we want to be in the developing areas or suburbs of London, and that's where we developed 3-4 projects. We've almost exited all. One project is left, and we should be finishing all. But for now, our future plans are more focused in India, primarily Mumbai and Pune and Bangalore, because we believe the growth potential here is better than probably outside, and hence we are clearly focusing more here.
So you must be aware about the international real estate landscape. So basis on your learnings or practices, what do you think could be beneficial from the other countries, can be beneficial to Indian real estate market?
So my belief is, India as a real estate market has grown and matured a lot over the last, 1 decade, in terms of RERA, in terms of GST, all these things, the ILFS crisis, demonetization, everything has really matured the real estate market in a right way. Transparency has come out in a very big way. Uh, I also believe that, in some cases or places, India is way much ahead as compared to other cities, what we see. But I also see that, real estate, what I really like is somewhere we need to see, obviously, that's not a match, but I personally believe that, if you look at cities like London or UK where we've worked, a buyer will only probably pay a deposit of money for real estate or for the home buying which he's doing. And the developer will completely get funding from a bank to finish the project, and then he will sell it, or the buyer will give his entire 100% at the time when the project is ready. Obviously, that is possible because the cost of funds over there are very, very low. So it's like 0.5% or 1%. Obviously, now being a little higher, but as compared to what it was pre-COVID levels, in terms of home loans were as low as that. And if I have to look as a bank loan or a construction finance, was about 4-5% or something like that. But as compared to what it is in India, is very high. Like India, cost of funding for home loans is 7-8% at the best, and now it's obviously a little higher. But and even construction finance is on the higher side. But if we can match this, right, it will solve a lot of anxiety problems between the buyer and the developer, and the customer will feel that, okay, I have to pay money at the end. I don't have to pay I have to pay once my project is ready. But obviously there comes a lot of mechanism, standardization and everything. But if we can, this can be worked upon. I know it's a very far-fetched dream because of the cost of the funding itself in the overall economic cycle is higher in India. Hence, it will not be possible. But I think in the best interest of real estate, I think this should happen, and probably in a few years' time, probably I see this as a reality.
So we had seen developers being thankful that RBI, rate hike was not increased. But a lot of developers even spoke about this is a good sign it's not increased, but they should also look into the stamp duty. What is your take on that?
I personally believe that I must appreciate uh, primarily the government and the RBI, that this, when they did not increase the repo rate twice, this only shows that, at least when I look at real estate, I think it is a very direct sign that people at the government and everyone recognizes real estate as an important integral part of the economic cycle of India. And when we see when interest rates are not increasing, this gives a confidence in the home buyers to actually movement. So if I look at the cycle, when over the last few years post COVID, the home loan interests were all time low, and that is where we saw a great jump coming in terms of buying from real estate, for buyers actually coming out to buy their products. So that was really encouraging, and the movement started really great. So real interest rates being low is a sign of growing economy in India, and especially real estate. Secondly, with that, if you look at the cycle when COVID happened, the government of Maharashtra reduced stamp duty to 2% and then to 3%. And at that point in time, also, the number of transactions which happened, right, were almost double or nearly double to what probably would have happened a year back or something like that. The reason for that was, today I as a developer can give any discount what I want, but as a buyer will get more confidence if it is being stamped by, or given by government. So if a government has given that incentive that, okay, if you buy a home today, I'm giving you certain benefits in terms of stamp duty. That's a very, very different push which a buyer's decision, in a buyer's decision, as compared to probably I coming and saying, okay, I'll bear your stamp duty. Because this that psychological feeling or the decision is very different. So hence, and I personally believe that stamp duty in a real estate market should be capped at 3%. And we as CREDA MCHI and everywhere, we've always harped upon to the government that please make this as 3%, because we've seen maximum transactions or tractions happening at 3% is a figure which is really beneficial, or digestible, I would say, to a customer, to a buyer and everyone. And I think it's fair. So if we do that, it's only that, if we we've proven that even if you make it to 3%, government is not losing revenue. Because there will be more transactions happening. It's a supply demand chain. There will be more transactions happening, so revenue continues to come in. And at the same time, if transaction happens, if you look at a long term benefit, if a transaction happens, if this way, government probably might think that they have lost out on the revenue, but there will be an incremental GST which is coming to them, a perpetual property tax which is coming to the government, something or the other which will continue. So there are indirect benefits available for every one of us. So, and I personally believe as a digestible figure is always 3%.
True. And now they have introduced the grading of the projects of the developers. What is your take on that? And do you think it will be actually helpful for the home buyers or also for the developers?
Well, I it's a very I don't personally see a grading of developers actually. There should be a proper formulated thing. I'm sure there will be, but if I really look at buyer may probably grade. You need to grade a developer based on its experience, its delivery, its past record.
True.
That should probably be given a lot more weightage.
Yeah.
As compared to probably a project itself. I'm
Mm.
just giving as an example. But where probably if let's say a developer who's quite experienced, who's delivered so many homes, who've been in the market, there has been no issues in and around the developer, that should have more grading as compared to probably in that project that project may probably be ABC with some kind of shortcoming or whatever. I'm just giving as a general statement, but because of that the developers grading reduces. That should not be the case, because you should not forget the history and the legacy from which the developer has come in. That is more important, because that's his credibility, that's his legacy, which he would not want to compromise at any given point in time. So I think that importance should be more. And I personally believe that if you have to really give grading, give more importance to this. And at the same time, if let's say that is given 60% or 50% or 40, whatever percentages should be weighed to that. With that, you give a developer's project with their efficiency planning also coming in as one of the grading, or the amenities giving that as one of the grading. With that, if you grade, it becomes a fair grading for any customer to really realize that okay, everything is tick in the box for me to take a decision whether I need to buy this.
But project wise grading, people say it's quite beneficial also, because that proves that deliver of that particular, project on time will happen. Because there have been a lot of home buyers who have faced, grievances in past when it comes to redevelopment projects, or when it comes to few branded developers where it was promised in certain period of time, but of course it was not delivered to them. So don't you think that will actually make all developers at least make sure the timelines are matched?
So, my thing is, if you look at any real estate developer who's a serious developer and who's been in this business since long, with RERA coming in, that really did not affect the developer.
Yeah.
Because he was always a compliant developer. Yes, he was probably not uh, telling public at large that what I am going to deliver when, but it was always, delivery is not being an issue, quality lot being reasonably well enough, and I mean, what does a customer really want? Grade A homes, like good home quality homes, obviously on time delivery, and third is committed to what is transacted. These are the three prime criterias of anyone buying a home, right? So I think if you really look at any project, I think yes, grading is great, but if that's where I said that if the legacy of a developer is always to see that he's delivered projects on time, his past projects was committed and he's delivered earlier, please grade him higher, because that is more important. Because today what you're transacting is a future transaction.
Yeah.
But today even you and I probably will go and buy a what do you call, a car or whatever, based on the brand or based on the legacy of the like if I have to buy a car A, I know if I'm buying a Mercedes, it's because Mercedes has been consistently delivering quality. Mercedes has been doing great job. That is why I will go and look at it, right? So that gives a lot of importance to the grading of the developer. So if you look at the legacy basis, which you also look at that if the project has been committed on time and it's been progressing well on time or before time, please change the grading accordingly. So that's how you are seeing that yes, the project is moving ahead and doing. So it's a lot of variability within it. So rather than just tagging as a A plus or a or a B, I think we need to rationalize it well to see which actually gives the right kind of grading to the right developer for the right project.
So in Mumbai market, we are noticing a lot of branded developers getting into, redevelopment projects, slum rehabilitation projects. So when it comes to Ajmera Group, what are the key factors that you keep in mind while you evaluate such projects, and how do you align the company's vision and values?
So as I said, we are also focusing a lot into redevelopment of slums or societies or MADA, because that's where something which we are working on. So take any when we look at any of these projects, or when we really bid for any of these projects, or we evaluate it as based on a when I look at it, can I really add value to the location? Can I really add value? Can I bring in something which will make the brand Ajmera really proud, and something which whoever is probably my buyer would want to stay here because A, it's an Ajmera brand, B, the location is great, C, the amenities are really nice,
Hmm.
and D is something it's value for money. So these are the four basic things which we really look, that if these criteria really match in, we push for that project. So even if it is slum, even if it is society redevelopment, these are the things which we really look at. The location primarily, yes, the demand
Hmm.
around the area, and that's where we focus on. So just to give a prime example, recently we concluded a transaction, and obviously the work is on today. It's at Juhu,
Hmm.
right? Very good location,
Yeah.
something which people really want to look at. Secondly, where we when we looked at that property, we saw that Juhu significantly has profit projects, everyone surrounding it. Why don't we look at projects which is where something is not really surrounding the building, but it is more of an openness and vast, like
Hmm.
open views available. So that was some location which we really got it. We got that society, we got that building, which permanently will have, one side is a cafe Azmi Park, one side is, it's the road, 10th road, and there is no buildings or no future projects coming in and around. So openness is going to be there. That is something
Right.
which
Yeah.
probably is very rarely now seen in
Yeah.
Juhu as compared to earlier. So if I that's where we really pushed that to see that
Hmm.
can we get this society, and we do whatever it takes to how we want to do it, right? So that's how we push ourselves to get into projects which we feel will add value to our brand.
So when it comes to challenges, which project do you feel has more challenge? Is it slum rehabilitation project or is this redevelopment project?
Well, honestly speaking, in a city in real estate, and especially Mumbai, challenges are, if there is no challenges in real estate, then it's not a project. I
Hmm.
mean, I'm being very honest. There will be challenges. If I
Hmm.
have a land, there will be some title issues or some permission related issues or something like that. If I have a slum, then slum issues will be there, or something related to land title will be there. Societies will have their own challenges, different mindsets,
Hmm.
different views, different opinions. To align them to come together to one consensus is
Hmm.
something where we work on. So it's different. So if I'm looking at a land, I deal with one landlord, or
Yeah.
probably it's family. If I'm looking at slum, I'm dealing with 600 people, right?
Yeah.
Which their decisions are, they do matter, but obviously they also now work towards growth. And if I look at society, it's 100 people, 75 people, 50 people, different mindsets, different people working, giving their opinion. So
Hmm.
everywhere there are challenges, but
Yeah.
to come out of it and to really work towards to see that we get the
Hmm.
project, or we strike that project, is where that's where a real developers USP would come in. So um, it's not specific to a society, it's not specific to a slum or a land.
Hmm.
Everywhere challenges are there. How you look at it, honestly, we personally look at it as challenge as an encouraging factor
Hmm.
for us to work hard and to get the project faster.
Hmm.
If honestly no challenges, then definitely something wrong in that line. So you can't,
Yeah.
it can't be so good to be true. It's that way.
No, because why I asked this question, because few developers have quoted this, that they have faced more challenges in a redevelopment society than in a slum rehabilitation, which was quite surprising to know. So if you come across such challenge, especially in redevelopment, because I understand the society is approached by a lot of builders, a lot of developers, and each one of them pitch them in certain way. I would even say pamper them, take them to a hotel and give them a good presentation. So how do you compete with other builders when they approach such societies?
See, as I said, your work speaks for yourself. I can give a fancy presentation. I
Hmm.
can do whatever is there. We personally believe that when you show a reality to the to any customer, be
Yeah.
it your customer at flat, be it your customer in slum, be it your tenant in society.
Hmm.
You show them what you are actually going to give. Doing a fancy presentation, all of that is great, nice. Rather than, I would say, everyone today is striving to show them the best of the entire presentation in terms of transparency, in terms of detailed planning, or a complete transparent presentation is something which we strive to do, because
Hmm.
that will show the customer the real picture of what the tenant is actually going to get
Hmm.
once the project is ready. So if we are able to really manage that in the meeting, that's the success of the meeting, at least what we believe in. And as I said, competition will be there. There will be, it's healthy. People get more options. People will tell, अरे ये builder ने तो हमको ये
Yeah.
दिया, आप थोड़ा और बढ़ा दो, हम आपके साथ जाएंगे.
Hmm.
Then they will speak to us. Then they will go to builder A again.
Hmm.
अजमेरा ने तो ये दिया, आप
Hmm.
थोड़ा और बढ़ा दो तो हम आपके साथ जाएंगे. So eventually somewhere you draw a line, because
Hmm.
every one of us is here to do business
Yeah.
and to do work, right? But
Hmm.
somewhere if we feel that no, beyond this, if we go ahead, it's something, it's a risk, because markets is dynamic. Probably something goes wrong.
Hmm.
If the markets fall, the margins are not that healthy enough to actually go through or strive through that thing, right? So if
Hmm.
tomorrow there is a fall of 10, 15, 20% in the market,
Hmm.
I don't think somebody who's at the edge will probably even be able to survive. So rather than, and then after that, because those 100 tenants are going to be my spokesperson, because if I give a great project to them, they are going to recommend to probably 1,000 of their friends put together that Ajmera did a great work for them. So we want
Yeah.
to see to it, we always commit to what we say, and probably give the best, more than what we've committed. So if we can really continue doing that in the project,
Hmm.
we'll probably push it. So if somewhere we have to draw a line, we draw a line. It's okay, there are 30,000 buildings available in Mumbai, one of it goes is fine, but let's not just be very desperate to make one society happy and then probably do a loss in the project or not do the project. It's
Hmm.
best to leave it at the right time. So, and I think it's a right decision, and many developers now who are who've been in this business have clearly drawn a line that this is where I can grow, I can go.
Hmm.
Just in the need of competition, I will probably give you a 2% higher or a 3% higher is something which everyone now clearly draws a line, and that's the real developer who knows his business well and who knows that with this I will be able to deliver. Without which, probably unless I'm happy making a loss but doing it for an emotional reason, that's a very separate issue. But 99% they will draw a line and just say we will not go ahead,
So,
and that is right for a project, for the tenant, for the developer,
yeah.
everybody.
So has there been any instance where you have drawn the line and you have let go of the
Oh,
project? Yeah.
many projects. So somewhere we felt that these projects were just coming to us, but no, within the aid of competition, somebody gave a percentage or a two higher,
Hmm.
and they moved ahead, which is good for them. But somewhere we drew a line and we didn't move ahead. But I and we personally believe that that is the right approach to
Yeah.
do, and we continue to do that.
Interesting. So let's talk about the future of Indian real estate market. Are there any emerging trends or technology that you feel would disrupt the real estate market in coming years? And these changes, do you vision or envision it in a manner that it's going to shape up the way we buy, invest, even sell in real estate?
So, I would just want you to go a little bit backwards, or, behind maybe 10, 15, 20 years back, when, when we were Like just to give some amenities example, like when we were about 30-40 years back, the floorings available in the market, where some of our projects itself, or that was the trend in the market, where the mosaic tiles was as a flooring. But today those changes evolve. Today in our homes there are vitrified tiles, there are marbles, there are ceramic tiles, those so many different things available. So things change, things evolve, but now with technology coming in, a lot of this has been changed. So like if you look at this, 10 years back, everywhere everyone was only looking at physical, uh, if I have to look at marketing point of view, right? So only, let's say, hoardings, only newspaper ads,
yeah.
or something. But today, if you see, those a lot of this has changed to social media marketing,
Yeah.
to the Instagrams of the world and all of that,
The virtual
and the
tours.
virtual tours. Today, it's so encouraging. Like when we see our apartments, somebody who's sitting in America or Australia or wherever actually able to see the entire construction and be able to see the entire 3D view of how his or her flat is going to look like,
Yeah.
and then take a decision, an implied decision. It's not something he's playing blind. He's actually getting to see what is actually available. Today we can actually showcase the entire apartment, show to the customer, and then he can take a decision. So a lot of this is changing, and which is for good. So at least in real estate, what I see is that technology is playing and will continue to play a big role. uh, Real estate companies which adopt to these technologies is just not marketing as one of it, but it is also construction, it is also into execution, it's also into administration, everywhere, procurement, everywhere. How much ever better you can efficient yourself, how fast you can do, that's how your company will grow. Because eventually, as the old saying goes, time is money. So the more time you save, the more money you save. The better you construct, and faster you construct, is more money you save. So this all, how much ever faster we do with efficient planning, with better technology, I think it's just going to make your company better. And the faster you adopt to it, it's great. My personal belief is AI is really going to take a lot of it within its scope. There will be a lot of reporting, there will be a lot of data available with the help of AI, which will help you take an implied decision in maybe buying a land, maybe designing a home, maybe looking at your progress of the company, or the sales report, or whatever it is. So I think a lot of it will be AI generated. Primarily, a lot will come into AI actually giving the basic uh, details to a customer who is actually wanting to buy. But lastly, it's the touch and feel will come. It's not that it will not come, because eventually homes are real. Even if I'm buying a 3D home, which may be future whenever it comes, or I'm buying a brick and mortar home, it's a home which I'm buying where I'm going to stay. So that will stay for real. How better we can do with its efficiency in terms of better homes, better technology homes, better quality homes, with the use of this technology, is what we should continue to do.
So, talking about PropTech, there are a lot of startups that have come in Indian market when it comes to procurement, when it comes to construction, even BIM. So, what is your take when it comes to PropTech ecosystem in India? Do you think we are maturing in certain way, or we are still in a nascent stage where the startups have to learn more in terms of collaborating with developers, or even in terms of growing their tech part? What is your take on
So
that?
my take is, as I said, technology is here to stay. People will not. The faster the people accept it, it's going to be better. Prop techs are great. Everyone feels, the only disadvantage I see is everyone feels my prop tech is the best, but that's not the reality. There, somebody who is of a great mind, but who mixes with the experience and comes in with technology, I think that is the real prop tech. So what I'm saying is, if I have a thought in mind, right, and if that thought with the experience of a probably senior or somebody who's been in that business, they merge together with technology, can bring the real Proptech out, right?
Hmm.
So, rather than developing just a prop tech in terms of technology, or
Hmm.
probably just as a startup, I think if we would work towards the end solution, to where it starts and to where it ends, probably till the last, and
Hmm.
with that, I think those prop techs will actually emerge to be better and work for the for the real estate market. There will be companies and there are many companies who are working in that direction,
Hmm.
and eventually some will stay, some will go away. But I think PropTech is just one way of looking at the best technologies coming for real estate, where probably 60-70% is great, 30% may not be good, or
Hmm.
not be useful or practical, or whatever it is. So it's something where I believe that it will the better planning and efficiency you do in PropTech will be for a long term use.
So, coming to sustainability, which has been the topic now, sustainability and social responsibility have become quite important and part of real estate now. What does Ajmera brand how does Ajmera brand practice sustainability in their projects, or even how do you, uh, commit to the existing communities that you're serving to? What is the, if you have to name an example of one particular notable, project or any practice that you have executed, what that would be?
So, sustainability is here to stay, and many developers probably, and we very proud to say that we are one of us. We had envisaged this long time back. So even just to give you an example of our projects at Vadala, Bhakti Park, which was started 20 years back. That
Mm,
was, or probably even if I have to look at some projects in the likes of Mira Road, Shantinagar, which was done 40 years back. We had created a sewage treatment plant at that point in time. So you understand, the whole idea was to see to it that the water, the sewage, to be recycled,
yeah.
to be reused, which will actually save water in that entire complex and community of 1500, 1700 buildings,
Mm,
and actually be used again for their own purpose, thereby a saving water, b saving their money, because eventually this entire uh, recurring money was being saved, because you're taking less money, supply of water from the government,
yeah.
and only fresh water was being taken for drinking purpose and everything. So that was as old as 30-40 years back is what I'm talking. So
Mm,
when with that in mind, sustainability is always been our factor where we look at every of our projects. And now obviously with technology, and with the LEDs of the world, and we see how better and more we can do
mm,
to be part of this sustainable environment is what we continue to do. So to give you an example, even today, when we look at buildings, or when we design buildings, we want to probably we design it to see it is the most efficient, or a kind of a green building, which will be a long term sustainable to the customer, where eventually his money would probably be saved in terms of long term point of view, in terms of his recurring costs.
yeah.
And that's where we look at projects, and that's how we are now continuing, and going forward probably we will still see that how can we be helpful from this project to the environment,
Mm,
probably by adopting to some ways which will eventually become this, which will make this project more sustainable as compared to others. So somewhere it will be practical, somewhere it will not be practical. It
mm.
depends on the location, depends on the area, and the cost versus the installation, etc. Everything will come into place. But we will strive to see how and more we can be more sustainable towards the project by, I mean, just wildly thinking, can we really look at something like where the electricity cost for the customer is as good as negligible? Can we really look at obviously right now we look at some common areas being under solar panels. Can we look at
Mm,
more solar panels, or can we look at some more wind plants which can actually install somewhere, and then with that thing we will not they will there will be not be any recurring cost to a customer for a longish point of view. There'll be no electricity cost coming
Yeah.
to him. So something which is in our mind, but legally better way which we can work on and give a long term benefit to the customer and save the environment is what we want to look
I want to know what advice would you give to the young entrepreneurs, even the aspiring young generation who are trying to make their mark in the real estate sector?
well. I'm still young, don't call me so old. But on a thing, I think my feeling is that India is now going to and is working. Today India will growth is going to come with the young population which is there. Today India is 65% of our population is young. It's thriving, right? So, and that is where we will really grow. uh, if I have to look uh, for any young entrepreneur who want to be a real estate developer or a player, I think two three things, as we say, as our company ethos continue: be transparent, uh, stay to your commitments, and give the right product at the right value. I think that will actually make your brand sustain, make your brand work a towards the long term. B, do whatever it takes, your brand will automatically grow. So that is something which I personally believe, and we work towards it. As a young and a proud Indian, my take is that we want to see to it that India has a great potential in terms of its value across the world. India will be the next growing economy. It is, but it will even continue to be faster than what it is, and we all should take advantage of it personally, professionally, and at the same time, let's make better homes. Let's make better environment where all of us are proud to stay in.
So I'll do my very famous round that is called rapid fire. You can't think too much over the questions I ask you.
Okay.
You have to be very quick and prompt with your answers.
All
So,
right.
are you ready with that?
Yeah.
Chalo. So, first question is, if you could describe yourself in 3 words, what would that be and why do they resonate with you?
A, persistent. B, can't restless, I would say. And C is adventurous.
And why would you resonate with it?
Well, I don't know. It's my nature that if something's there in my mind and I feel it's right for whatever, be it work or be it anything, I'll ensure that that is I want to do that. Secondly, I love adventure. Something I'm a risk taker. So if something comes in and I feel it's a risk, but eventually if it works great. I will probably jump for it. And yeah, so that's.
And restless?
Restless is I can't sit at one place. So I need to work, I need to do something, and can't be sitting idle.
So, what is the most memorable piece of advice you received from your predecessors in the real estate industry, and how has it influenced your approach as a second generation developer?
When I started my business, when I came into my business, my father actually and my uncle, they really trained me. My brothers really trained me. As I said, two, three things. Work, you should know your work well. So that was very clear in the mind. So I was actually, although I'm not a civil engineer, but I'm, I can proudly say that I am a with experience qualified civil engineer because I was at site at least to the initial
Practical
careers of
knowledge.
my life,
Yeah.
being a clear engineer, measuring tape, seeing the whatever is need to be done that. So you know how business works. And at the same time work, as I said, with clear commitments and transparency. So these were very very clear ethos brought into me when I started my work, and I'm very proud that I continue to do that.
So, outside of real estate, what are some of your personal passion or hobbies that you enjoy in your free time?
I love running, and been doing that since at least 15, 18 years now.
Nice.
And I believe it's something which I feel it's a stress reliever, and I continue to do that. And that's the time. It's your own. It's my me
Space,
time,
yeah.
and you think a lot. You think about how you want to continue with your projects, company, whatever. It's the best time I feel. So running is something which I really look forward.
So, if you could choose one mentor or influential figure in your life who has shaped your approach to real estate, who would it be and why?
There are two things.
Hmm.
It's outside and inside both. So
Okay.
when I say outside, when I say inside, is obviously my father who really trained me to become a real entrepreneur in real estate,
Hmm.
showing me the roots till the the nuances of real estate. My uncle, late Chotubai Ajmera, who has actually, I was very, his favorite. I was very proud, and I was his favorite. So he used to train me a lot, take me to sites, projects. He actually started the Bangalore development, stating that you are going to handle this, and
Hmm.
that way, and he would come along with me, etc. So that obviously my brothers who trained me well. So all these are my mentors, my elder brothers, my dad, my uncle. They are my mentors because with their experience, they share, they tell us this is what you do. And if I have to look at outside, I always look at developers whose projects, who are, we really failed. So Mr. Hiranandani, he's actually created a city. It's
Yeah.
something which we all are really proud of. Today we all know Pawai as Hiranandani. So that's something which, and that's where when I was young, I always said that we want to, and that's where we started. When we create Wadala, we want to create Wadala. It's not Wadala, it's Ajmera Island.
Yeah.
And that's something which we I mean, obviously got inspired from them. There are, many good developers in Mumbai. I
Hmm.
would say Rustamji is one of them who create real homes for buyers and people. And I'm so many of us. So I think these inspire me to continue and make my own company better.
Hmm.
Looking at their projects, getting inspired from these developers.
I want to know, especially from you, is can you share a specific childhood memory or experience that sparked your interest in real estate?
When I was young, I used to go with my father to sites.
Hmm.
My father used to go on Sundays to the site, especially obviously Monday to Saturday he would be going, but Sunday first half he used to always go to sites. Sometimes I have also been with him,
Hmm.
and then when you see him at site with the engineer at site, when you wear those helmets, when you wear those things that you move in the rubbles and to move those steps up to the construction
Hmm.
site, it was very fascinating. Obviously I was adventurous, so I used to like taking, going around. Oh, when you see, you can just see nothing. It's like a big, when you are up
Yeah.
on the maybe second, third, fourth floor, and
Hmm.
you see, so that making houses brick mortar really really fascinated me. And then
Hmm.
that's how I started. And when I came to college, after my college days or during my college days, after my college hours, I used to go to sites and just to see how it works, what it is. And there was no agenda, but that interest grew in me, and that's how I came into real estate.
Can you share a little known fact or an interesting, anecdote about yourself that most people may not be aware of, but you're comfortable sharing with the viewers to help them to get to know you much better?
Many people think I'm not approachable, but it's not that. I am quite approachable. I am very open, and that's my personal belief. How much ever open or approachable you are to your customer, to your clients, or to your whoever you are dealing with, I think
Hmm.
your business will only grow, and they will feel more secured and better. And that's what I always do. I have my mobile numbers on my card, so it's not very something people. My office told me you should not keep it. Everyone and anyone will call you,
Hmm.
but that's not my belief. My belief is that whoever has real work will call, and
True.
you continue to do that.
No, I can vouch for it because I think I just dropped your mail with regards to this interview, and you didn't introduce me to other people. You immediately replied to it,
Yeah.
and that was quite good to know. Okay, I can speak to him directly about this interview. So yeah, I would agree. You are quite approachable on that. So, what is your favorite book or movie, and why is it important to you in a personal level?
Well, I am a movie buff, but honestly, there is no particular movie which really excites me. I'm not a book reader, to be honest
Hmm.
with you, but I'm a movie buff. I can watch any and any movie, whatever. If it is my free time and if I have nothing to do, I think movie is something which I put on a Netflix and start or whatever, move it. But there is no particular movie which is one of my favorites and I can continue to watch.
So, your favorite genre in the movie?
Well, obviously, thriller
Hmm.
is one of them, which you would I that excites me, and stress relief is comedy.
Is there a particular quote or mantra that you live by, and how does it influence your decision making and outlook in life?
Very clear, be transparent, be open.
Hmm.
These three things is what I move on. There is no uh, particular quote I would say, but as a generic thing,
Hmm.
be transparent and be open.
And lastly, I want to know what is one accomplishment outside the real estate industry that you are quite proud of and why you are proud of that?
I think when I did my first full marathon, when I first completed my 42 kilometers, I think I was really proud because something in my own life which I was never doing, and I was not
Yeah.
a health freak from where, and I actually achieved that
Hmm.
because that I didn't, I was really proud that something which, as I said, that if I have in my mind I want to do it, I will strive to get it
Hmm.
done, and that's something which I was really proud of, and I continue to look at some things which is challenging me, and
Hmm.
which I believe that with this challenge I will grow in life, or it will be something which will help my company, myself. I will always take
Great.
it.
Thank you so much for joining us today. It was lovely having you here today
Thank you.
and having to see your candid side also. I'm sure our viewers will love it. And having a great insight about the company, also about your journey. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.